Well, I guess I should start this segment again. This is my next Dying to Live segment, and I believe that the issues that I want to discuss here are issues that I've always felt dear to my heart. Nevertheless, I recognize that people viewing my channel don't really want to view me discussing about all my personal problems or personal issues, which is why I'm formatting a more stringent structure for myself. And I promise to never upload more than one Dying to Live segment more than a week, or more than once a week, so to say. So, what do I want to talk about today? Well, today I wanted to talk about my greatest fears and the love I have for my parents. I know it's very strange to talk about these two issues, but they're both very compelling and related. My greatest fear is that I will one wake up one day and realize that I never achieved what I always dreamed of achieving. And to a certain extent, that's always happened. But my next greatest fear is the fact that I will fail, I will suffer, I will be destroyed without any and all hope for achievement that I wish or desire for. And that's what really scares me. I used to like in my previous segments that I've talked about, I used to believe that like friends or people that you want to go with or to in life with would stick by you no matter what. And that's something I always wanted to appreciate or I always wanted to have. However, apparently this is no longer true. Or to an extent, this is no longer, I'm far more cynical in that belief. I gave people what I wanted to give them or what I wanted in exchange, and they've never returned that back to me. And I think a lot of factors play into that. I just want, I guess, like I said before, I've always wanted friends that can count on me or I can count on them. And that's the really sad part, I guess. Because I realized that that's no longer possible. I really don't know how else I can arrange or discuss or compel myself to overcome my fears. I'm sorry if I'm a bit sick today, just I've got a cold and a flu, but I feel compelled to at least post once a week or so. Being someone who's not native Australian or who probably won't be accepted as a proper Australian is kind of disheartening, but it's something I accepted a long time ago because I realized that despite how much trouble I face here, it's always much worse in other countries, and I appreciate what Australia has done and given for me. Yet at the same time, I yearn for more, but that's human nature. I really feel that if that talking about these issues, as I've said in my previous videos, helps me. So now that I've talked about my greatest fears, and it's the fear of failure, so to speak, and not the fear of the unknown or death or something like that, because those are fears that I've faced, those are fears that I've accepted as constants in my life. Those are was the fear of failure and not living up to expectations. I also wanted to talk about a positive note. I guess I realized that despite the flaws, and I realize it's a bit too late, despite their various flaws, despite their various problems and issues, I really do love my parents, and they really do love me. Or at least they love the semblance of me. They really don't know the true me, and I really doubt that most people will. We all have our own secrets and own facts of life, and we all have our own beliefs. But I want to be their loyal son, and they want to help me. In fact, when I tried to commit suicide a few years back, they were one of the few people to actually try and come to my aid, and my so-called friends from high school, or the first real friends that I thought existed, didn't really do anything. And it was really depressing. Is all Australians this selfish, like, or do they just not care or are not compelled to help anybody? I've said before that I made these videos both to help myself and to try and help society move forward in a bit, whether it be in my own meager way or not. And it's it feels so frustrating. We are the second best country to live in the world, according to the Inequality HDI Index, and yet we have one of the highest homeless rates. In any OECD country, we have one of the highest inequalities. And that's strange, but so disheartening, I guess. There's so many problems that we can solve, and yet we don't. And the solutions are something that no one or very few are willing to fight for. Like, I think we need to cover more operational issues. We need to help Aboriginal society, not just the half measures Golf Whitlam did, even though they were quite good, or not just saying sorry like Kevin Rudd did. Sorry, just a word in my opinion. We actively need to discuss, rearrange, and integrate or help uplift Aboriginal society because of all the damage that's been done for the past few years. Now, where was I? Oh yes, I was talking about my parents. I was talking about how I really do love them, but I'm not. And while they love the semblance or face of me, I'm not sure that they really would love the true me. I mean, these are videos I've made without anyone knowing. These are videos that I always want to talk about, or videos that I always wanted to make. Nevertheless, I guess that's what I wanted to do. I want to be loyal, and I want them to be loyal to me. Equivalent exchange, so to speak. And yet that's something very few people understand or accept. I don't really know why. And I really don't understand why, so to speak. Which is why I've come to really despise a lot of people in my generation, so to speak. Or the majority of Australian youth in my generation. Because of their behavior. But then again, I'm probably one of the most top 1% of political, like the most, like in the 1% quarter that know what politics are going on, issues, how they affect us. And I guess it's because I'm just much more disadvantaged than a lot of my other peers. So it's probably a bit of envy or jealousy in a way. I guess the basis of this video is that I'm constantly faced with the fact that people want more from me than I am willing to give them, and that they are willing to give less than what I ask. Despite the fact that I believe that I'm doing or exchanging something that is equal or worth equal value. Once again, I'd like to thank all my viewers for watching this. It's nice knowing that people actually care a bit, and I just want you to know, if you want to talk about any issue, please feel free to comment.